To read, City Council provide direction regarding a date selection on which the 2016 annual Independence Day celebration be held. I did pull this one because it's talking about July 4th celebration. July 4th this year is on a Monday, and the discussion came up at Public Services Committee where they were talking about the potential of placing the activities, the city activities, on July 2nd in order to save funds, approximately, according to the agenda, $50,700. I don't know if anybody on the committee wishes to speak, but I do know we have a member of the community, so I'll let that person go first, and then I'll chime back in after that. Good evening.
Good evening. Joe Morgan, 2063 Ren. My concern with this isn't necessarily with the policy or yes or no or you should or you shouldn't. This shouldn't be on the consent calendar. My understanding was there wasn't a vote at committee, that you wisely thought that it should come before the council. This isn't an item that was voted on. This isn't an item that was acted upon. This shouldn't be on the consent calendar. And if it went to committee, it shouldn't come to the council until the minutes have been accepted from the committee to hear, because you couldn't know what happened at that committee unless you had an illegal meeting about the meeting. This little shortcut has happened several times that I've seen it happen. It's clearly has been going on with Corona Lalinda. It's clearly happened at Mountain View, stuff that went straight from committee in the morning to the council in the afternoon before anything went through the clerk's office, before any minutes were recorded. If you didn't come to the meeting and sit in the meeting, you shouldn't know what happened at the meeting, because otherwise you had illegal communication with another council member. You can't have those meetings. Those are against the law. They're clearly against the law. So you need to follow the process. This isn't a new thing. They didn't just decide to move July 4th. This isn't exigent circumstances. We spoke about this with regards to Mountain View. That's what happened with Mountain View. It went straight from committee in the morning, right to here in the afternoon. There was no chance for anybody to get caught up on what happened. I hear about these little pre-meetings that happen. Those little pre-meetings are illegal. You can't have pre-meetings. You can't decide what happens at this meeting outside of this meeting. That's against the law. You need to follow the process. I'm not accusing you guys of malfeasance, but if you're going to cheat on little stuff, you might as well cheat on the big stuff. You can't take these kind of shortcuts. You can't go outside. You can't just color outside the law, and it's just a little bit. And this taking things to consent calendar just because it's more convenient, you shouldn't do it. This is a new item. It should be here. It should be a discussion about it, and it should be taken up in public. It shouldn't just be taken up in committee. It's a good decision. It's probably a good decision to move the date, but it should happen here. It shouldn't happen in the back. It shouldn't be on consent calendar where it only comes up if somebody pulls it. Why not put it on the regular agenda? I realize you guys don't write the agenda, but you do have control over the agenda. If you see it on there, you can give direction to staff to say, hey, you know what? New stuff shouldn't be on the consent calendar. This is new stuff, just like the volleyball court. That's new stuff. New stuff shouldn't be on the consent calendar. This shouldn't be where you take care of your business. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
I disagree with much of what Mr. Morgan said, except for one item, which is my office did make an error. This 3H1 was not supposed to be on consent calendar because it is an action item by council. The committee didn't act on it. I think the report, as written, evidences that it was an error as opposed to anything else that he may have tried to describe. Clearly, it is here tonight for discussion. We were bringing it back because the committee thought it was of a level of importance that all 5 of you should chime in on which day would be better, which would have best attendance. But literally, this meeting left us about 12 hours to get the staff report written onto the agenda, and haste makes waste. Mary in my office plugged it into the wrong location, which brings us tonight for discussion and hopefully a decision, because we do need to move forward with our recreation services team in changing reservations and making reservations for staging and lighting and all that kind of stuff. So apologize for the error, but here we are to talk about it.
And I appreciate the explanation. The reason I pulled it is because other than the staff report, I have no knowledge about what took place at the Public Services Committee. So I just want to share that. There wasn't anything discussed outside of this meeting or committee meeting.